Hi, welcome to Growth Plug, the YouTube channel that is dedicated to helping entrepreneurs start, grow, and scale their businesses. Today, we'll be talking about the different stages of business. My name is Usman, and I am your Growth Plug. So different schools of thoughts have different definitions for the different stages of businesses. But for the purpose of this video and this channel, we'll be focusing on just three. They are the seed stage, the startup stage, and the growth stage. So let's dig in. So the seed stage of a business is usually the earliest stage of that business. At this stage, an entrepreneur or group of entrepreneurs are focusing on trying to turn an idea into a product. The company is at its infancy, and the focus is on developing a minimum viable product or service and acquiring customers. Some of the key challenges that seed stage companies face is uncertainty, because most of them are still in idea phase, and there's uncertainty as to whether that idea is going to become a viable business. The second is limited resources, because they are just starting. Most times they are bootstrapping, and because there's no minimum viable product, most cases it's difficult for them to raise funding or even to make money from sales of products. And then the third is hiring talent. Again, because they are at their infancy, it's very, very difficult to get talent to believe in the vision and join them on the journey. This is usually because of course, the uncertainty as to whether they are going to make it to become a startup company and go to the growth phase, or even if that idea is going to get off the ground to become a proper business. If your business is still in the seed stage, there are two key things that you need to focus on. One is to make sure that you do everything possible without incurring debt to validate your product or get a minimum viable product or service. You need to have a proof of concept. That idea needs to be able to go from your head or from paper into a product or service that you can present to people and people can pay you for. The second is to make sure, do everything possible to ensure that you are able to get customers that can buy, give you feedback, and make repeat sales of your product or service. Those are the two key things that your eyes should be focused on. To put it in simple terms, as a seed stage business, three things: product development, do everything possible to get a minimum viable product or validate your proof of concept, or just get something that you can show people that is your product or service. The second is customers and sales. You need to make sure that once you're able to get that product or service, you're also able to get people to buy it. It has to be something that people value and are willing to exchange value for. And the third is to be able to raise capital to take that proof of concept or product, move it from the seed stage to the startup stage. In terms of funding or financing of your seed stage business, my personal advice is that you either do your savings, friends and family, or you go for grants. But if you must go out and look for money, then you can try crowdfunding, venture capitalists, or angel investors. Do not go and take a bank loan to finance a seed stage business. The second stage of business is the startup stage. Startup stage are businesses that have moved from the seed stage. They already have a proven product and they have customers that are already buying their products. At this stage, companies are focused on increasing their customer base, growing their revenues, establishing a brand, and getting what you call product market fit. They're still taking their product just moving from seed to startup stage, so they're still getting feedback. They might or might not have hit that perfect spot where their product in local parlance has blown. One of the main characteristics of startup stage business is the rapid expansion, right? Because now they are no longer seed companies. They've established themselves that they have a product that people want, and they are pushing for sale. Some of the challenges that startup businesses face is one, managing cash flow. Because they are just moving into the startup phase, a lot of times their overhead costs are really high, and because they're at startup stage, they are not focusing on efficiency and all that. So operational costs might be very, very high, and it's very, very difficult at that stage sometimes to put an eye on the numbers to ensure that they are able to manage costs. The other is getting product market fit. The fact that they've gotten to startup stage sometimes does not necessarily mean that they've gotten that product market fit. So especially for businesses that are not non-tech, even at the startup stage, the struggle is to get that perfect point where pricing and quality and wallet of customer converge, such that the demand for the product just grows astronomically. Then the third is establishing a brand, because in most cases there's no established budget for branding and marketing. They struggle with establishing themselves in the market. The third is competing with established brands. Again, because they are startup businesses in a particular area, they might struggle with the big brands because they don't have the same type of deep pockets to compete with them for established customers. As a startup business, there are three things that you should focus on. The first is continuous product development. Now that you are a startup, congratulations, you already have a product, minimum viable product that is acceptable to the market, but you are not there yet. You need to continue fine-tuning that product until you get to what is called product market fit. At this point, the demand for the product is organic, and your brand, your marketing is just positioning the brand. The second is talent acquisition. As a startup phase company, you need to focus on getting the right people and building the right systems to take your business to the next level. The third thing is customer acquisition, continuous acquisition of customers. As a startup that you've established your product in the market and you are already getting traction, you should focus on, aside from acquiring the current type of customers that you have, your focus should also be on looking for new segments of customers. You want to build as large a base of customers as possible. You consistently look for new ways that your product can be applied into the lives of different consumer segments. That's a task that startups must focus on non-stop. In terms of financing for startups, there are four that I will personally advise. The first is grants. The second is venture capitalists. The third, crowdfunding. And then the fourth is bank loans. Personal advice with bank loans: as a startup, if you must take a bank loan, make sure that you are using it to fund a transaction, a defined transaction. This is not to say that you cannot use bank loans for other things. I'm just talking from my own personal experience. If you must take a bank or commercial loan, make sure that it is tied to a transaction, such as a supply, power purchase order, or stuff like that. Do not just take a bank loan to put into the business. That's a personal advice. But if you have a financial advisor and they advise you otherwise, then you are free to act as you have been advised. The third stage of businesses is the growth stage. These are businesses that have exited the startup stage, have established themselves in the market, and are experiencing rapid growth. At this stage, the company is focused on expanding customer base, increasing revenue, and expanding operations to meet growing demand. One of the key characteristics of growth stage businesses is that they've achieved product market fit. A simple example of product market fit: if you are in manufacturing and you get to the stage where what you are producing, you are not able to store finished products in your factory, then you most likely have reached product market fit. It means that as you are producing, the consumers have already taken it. So there's always, you are not producing to store, you are producing as you are producing. Distributors, retailers, wholesalers are making down payments for your production. At that stage, you know that you've gotten product market fit and you're most likely at the growth stage of your business. The thing about growth stage businesses is that they have established a proven business model and are making significant revenue. But that does not mean that they do not have their challenges as well. Some of the challenges that growth stage businesses face are: one, managing growth. People think that growth is a good thing. Actually, not necessarily that people think that it's a good thing. But if you don't manage growth, you will implode, right? So growth stage businesses have challenges managing growth. They have challenges competing with established businesses in the industry. When you are a seed stage or startup stage business and you are doing business, doing your business under the radar, nobody takes notice of you. But when you get to that growth stage and you are established, now the competition takes you seriously and they are planning and strategizing to make sure that you don't take market share from them. So at that growth stage, you are now on the map. You are on your competition's radar, and you also have to watch your back and plan appropriately. The third challenge that growth stage businesses face is being able to maintain a culture. Because you are growing, you are expanding, and expansion comes with people coming into the organization. You now start to have people problems. You now have to start to manage personalities. You now start to struggle with building a culture that is consistent within your organization. These are not things that companies in the seed or startup stage worry about, but in the growth stage, it is very, very, very prominent. And trust me, culture, not having the right culture is one of the things that can, make an organization just decline organically. So some of the things that the growth stage businesses should focus on are: 1, sales and marketing. The truth is that you have gotten to the growth stage does not mean that you should be complacent. You should be consistent in your sales and marketing. In fact, as a growth stage business, you must have an always-on advertising strategy to make sure that your brand is top of mind in the face of your customers. Remember that you are already in your competition's radar, and they are doing everything possible to make sure that you don't steal market share from them. So the second is operations and logistics. Because you are in the growth stage, you are most likely scaling and expanding. So you need to increase your infrastructure. If you are distributing at a large scale. If you are managing customers with technology, you are needing bigger servers. Everything that you are doing is now at scale. So you need to pay attention to your operations and logistics so that it doesn't cripple your business. The third thing that you need to focus on is hiring the right talent and setting the right culture in your organization so that people are able to work together in sync and are able to understand the vision and work towards a common purpose. So in terms of financing for growth stage businesses, they can start to consider things like private equity. Because at growth stage, you're already making significant, revenue. You have a proven business model. Your valuation is already at a stage where it will make sense to sell equity. So you can consider private equity, you can consider venture capital funds, and bank loans as well, because you already have steady cash flows that can support repayment of bank loans. So for me, it doesn't really matter what stage of business that you are in. You could be seed, you could be startup, you could be growth stage. What is most important is understanding where you are, because when you do, you are able to strategize on how you can move to the next stage. If you have any comments, concerns, or learnings that you think that we've missed out in this business, please immerse yourself in the comment section. We are seriously looking forward to hearing from you. And while you're at it, please tell us what stage of your business you are in and what you think has been holding you back from moving to the next stage. And if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button, like, and share the video. Until we meet in the next one, this is Growth Plug. Start, grow, scale.